Yeah.
You don't want to get all cold.
And sanity.
Well, that's what
That's true, yeah. Yeah. Mm. I don't think I ever had it, so I don't know what I'm talking about.
Awesome.
Yay! Yay! Yay!
All right, is everybody ready?
Clap if you want to. Raise your arms and put them in your lap. okay.
You can tell my
Just
son's a
listen to my
showman.
dad.
All right, we are going to be starting off by showing you the examples of how My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, as well as the fandom, in particular Meredith Sims and her powerful team at Silly Philly Studios, have made it possible for us to actually have something truly to believe in as we move forward to try to make a brighter future for individuals with special needs, while also educating and informing those who may not have the experience of knowing what it's like to have someone with a special need or even be friends with it. We're gonna, and we'll start it off right now, so if you would, start the videos off, Ben.
Is it on the...
No, it's in the media player.
Okay.
Please put the full screen. And we're lagging.
Technology.
There we go. Hey, what's going on?
I can't get it to full screen. It's not...
Oh. And there we go.
Snowdrop, how is your project coming?
My project?
Yes. Are you and your partner ready to present?
My partner?
Do you not have a partner still? Snowdrop, this isn't just a small school project. This is the 100th spring sunrise under the princess's rule. They've honored us with the opportunity to show what Cloudsdale's future can create to invigorate the seasons. Have you even begun your work?
This is going to make some pony work with her again, isn't she?
It's not like she can make anything when she can't see in front of her own hoof.
You can wish on them?
Yes. Once there was a time where you couldn't, where stars were rare. But when the princesses came, the stars began to come out every night. I bet if you listened, you could hear them twinkle.
No, I couldn't.
You listen better than any pony I know.
All I hear is quiet. I'd rather see them. Do you think if I wished hard enough, they would let me see them?
It's better to save your wishes, Snowdrop, for something you really need.
Don't I really need my eyes?
No, not you. You're too special for that.
I am?
Who else can discover an entire cloud shape without denting the surface? Only one little filly's wings and hooves are careful enough to do that. And I bet if you tried again, you would be able to hear the stars twinkling at night. You're a special filly, my Snowdrop. Don't worry, you won't need your eyes to find your place in the world.
I think I hear the twinkles.
You listen better than any pony I know.
Tell me more about the stars.
Well, there are all sorts of stars, all different shapes and sizes. But they all have little points at their edges. When they sparkle, their shape shift. They leave little glowing spaces, only for a moment. And the few that streak across the sky and fall down to the earth, the shooting stars, those are the ones you make your strongest wishes on, because they can carry them through.
All you, Nick Reese.
See how cool I want.
Yeah. Take care of that
Sorry,
right now.
that's a bad idea.
so sorry, Rainbow Dash. I just wanted you to hang out with me and see how cool I was, so you'd take me under your wing, teach me everything you know, and become like my big sister. But then you started telling those spooky stories, and I got scared. I thought I heard the headless horse, so I ran out here by myself, and... well, I guess you know the rest. Hey, I'm gonna tell you something, but if you ever tell any pony else, I'm gonna deny it. First time I heard those stories, I was scared too. You were? Sure. I mean, I got over it because I realized pretty quick that if there was such thing as a headless horse, I could totally take it on. So, you're looking for some pony to take you under their wing, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might be up for something like that. Really? As long as you don't go falling into any more rivers in the middle of the night. It's a deal. Girls, we just wanted to say your act is quite impressive. Wait, what? Thanks? Oh, but of course, as a matter of fact, we think you're very brave. Brave? Why? Isn't it obvious? It is to us. In fact, it's obvious to every pony. You're showing all 3 types of Ponyville ponies, yet you have a Pegasus pony who can't even fly! What in tarnation is that to do with anything? I'd say not being able to fly has everything to do with everything, doesn't it? I mean, a Pegasus pony at your age? You should have been flying long ago. So what if my wings can't get me off the ground? Your career as a flag carrier isn't getting off the ground either. Miss Harshwinny will never pick a Pegasus pony who can't fly to represent Ponyville in front of all of Equestria. Miss Harshwinny never said anything about that. I would have thought that was obvious. Well, have fun practicing anyway. Even if your routine will never, how shall I say, take off. Throwing away your scooter? Rainbow Dash? Yep, but not just me. I don't want to see them. And what are they doing here anyway? They're supposed to be on the train. We're not going. Not without you, Scootaloo. What's gotten into you, Scootaloo? I didn't want to ruin their chance to win just because I couldn't fly. And who said you had to? But flying is what Pegasus ponies are supposed to do. You flew when you carried the flag in the games. But that was me. You're you. And it just doesn't matter if you can fly or not. Your routine was amazing because it represented exactly what makes Ponyville special. You do still know what that is, right? Friendship. 3 kinds of ponies living together as friends, just like us. Earth ponies, unicorns, and... What am I? Where am I from? Who am I supposed to be?
Dear Princess Celestia, seeing the Great Dragon Migration made me wonder what it meant to be a dragon. But now I realize that who I am is not the same as what I am. I may have been born a dragon, but Equestria and my pony friends have taught me how to be kind, loyal, and true. I'm proud to call Ponyville my home, and to have my pony friends as my family. Yours truly, Spike.
I just wanted to thank you personally for saving those ponies and the games, oh great and honorable Spike, the brave and glorious. You must be very proud.
I guess.
You guess?
I just saw what needed to be done and reacted. Just so happens I can breathe fire, and if any of you could do that, you'd have done the same.
Forgive me for being blunt, Spike, but you're not making a lick of sense.
It's just how I feel.
Wait a second. I think I get it. You keep saying you let every pony down, but we all keep saying you didn't. You know who was disappointed in you, Spike? You. And only you can make it right with you again. What would that take, Spike?
I don't know. Can you turn back time? Because I'd sure like a do-over on that opening ceremony.
We can't turn back time, but would you do me the great honor of lighting fireworks in my place at the closing ceremonies tonight?
Come on, Spike. You saved the Crystal Empire twice. I think you could light some fireworks.
I guess I have to at least give it a shot. You know, it's kind of weird. No matter how many times others tell you you're great, all the praise in the world means nothing if you don't feel it inside. Sometimes to feel good about yourself, you've got to let go of the past. That way, when the time comes to let your greatness fly, you'll be able to light up the whole sky.
Thank you. And I'm sure some of you may have picked up on some of the themes that went on there, but I'll summarize what the whole point of that montage of videos was all about. As you noticed, Snowdrop was in a regular school being picked on like most people who have special needs, or just about anyone in general. Though there was one thing special about Snowdrop that she had going for herself, a mother who cared and loved her. As you noticed, even though Snowdrop could not see, her mother took the time to describe the world that was out there to her, so that way when the time came for her to get that inspiration to make the snowflake that would become the one that would make her very well loved by Princess Luna in the feature Snowdrop, it was her mother's encouragement, her mother's always telling her that you don't need your eyes to see the world because there are other ways. And as Snowdrop through her diligence did, she listened to every word her mother said, followed the directions, and you know what happened? Good things, because she had confidence in herself and the ability. She empowered herself to move forward and be proud of herself despite what every pony else was saying about her or what every pony else believed she was capable of. We now switch to Scootaloo, who always wanted someone to believe in her, to help give her a chance, someone for her to idolize and look up to. And even though Rainbow Dash may not exactly be the best role model, Rainbow Dash at least shows that she has that compassionate side to herself by wanting to take Scootaloo under her wing after Scootaloo is brave enough to say, look, I was looking for someone to believe in me, and the nice thing is, Rainbow Dash did. But then we move on to the next part where you see where Silver Spoon and Diamond Tiara are tearing into Scootaloo. I'm pretty sure you might have noticed this, but did you notice throughout the entire segment that Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle never once made any reference whatsoever about Scoots having a problem with her wings? Her true friends saw her for who she was, not her disability. They saw Scootaloo, not the Pegasus who can't fly Scootaloo. That is why they were backing her, because you were hearing that has nothing to do with it. To Apple Bloom and Sweetie Belle, everything that Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoon were saying was completely off the table because that's not the Scootaloo they know and love. And that's what true friends are. True friends are the ones that see you beyond your special need and see you for what you can do and what makes you special. Which is why in the end of the segment, we were able to see Scootaloo realize that even though she might get put down by others because of the fact that she's different, what really matters are those friends that are there by your side who love and care for you. Real friends will always love you for the inside person that you are. You may have a rough outside, you may be a bad first impression. I mean, honestly, I'll take off my glasses. If anyone you could see, this is not exactly the wonderful first impression employers like to see. But you know what? That's not the real me. The real me is the one talking to you right now at this very panel, which is what leads into Spike. Because Spike is a dragon amongst a number of ponies. There are no other dragons, except for when you see in Dragon Quest, and we see how well they turned out. But the one thing that's important for Spike is even though he's not only surrounded by ponies, but female ponies, I mean, he probably has a lot of issues with himself, not only wanting to know who he is or what he is, but doesn't know how to, be a masculine character. But in the long run, what he learns is that it doesn't matter whether he might have feminine traits. Like maybe some of you saw me around yesterday. I was cosplaying as Spike, and I was wearing his apron. A friend of mine made it for me to wear just for this event. Just for the main purpose of showing it's okay, because that's who he is and that's what makes him happy. Does it hurt anybody? No. Does it hurt him? No. So, I mean, if he wants to wear aprons and likes to wear aprons, well, darn it, he can wear aprons. But the big summation to take away from Spike is realizing that you're going to bump into people who are always going to knock you down, and society is going to make you feel like you're second class if you can't do exactly what the other sheep are doing. However, as Spike learned at the end of Equestria Games, he learned it's not what you think you should be, but what others that truly love you and see you know you can do. There's a lot of people out there who are very good with art, but because it comes so naturally to them, they feel it's nothing special, but in truth it is. And once you're able to embrace that you have a special talent, that you have your cutie mark, and that others appreciate your cutie mark, then there's nothing that's going to stop you. You are going to be able to go out there and make a difference not only for your particular subgroup in the special needs community, but for everyone by saying, look, I'm not going to be like you. I'm not supposed to be like you. This is what my cutie mark is telling me, and it's telling me to be special. I'm proud to be a father who has a special need to a son. And honestly, when I went to a school for the blind, and this was an actual official school, we had home studies. And me and another student there, we would ask, why aren't we ever taught how to raise families? We were taught how to be independent with everything up to even running across the street and hoping you didn't get hit by a car. But the whole point was, they never once focused on the ideal of having a family. And for me, that was something that was important because I did not see how my lack of vision made me any less able to be a father. And that is why I am very proud to have my son Ethan here with me at this panel to speak on behalf of what it's like to have a father who does have a special need. So therefore, I'm going to let my son Ethan share a few words of what it's really like to have a father like myself with a degenerative eye condition, and then he will turn it over to Ben, who will go into his next segment. So thank you.
Having a father with disability is like having a father with no disability. Treat your dad like a regular dad and know that and love him no matter what he feels or no matter what he looks like. Just love him as much as you need to, and he'll be your guide for the rest of your life. Not a Ben. And having a good father is having the sunny day. Okay, now to Ben.
How you doing? Is that working? Yeah. How you doing, everybody? Thank you. Up the irons. I gotta pull out my cheat sheet so if I go off track. But no, my name is Ben Platt. Coming here from Pennsylvania for the convention along with Matt and Ethan. And it's really good to be here. I came to the convention last year and never would have seen myself being up on a panel. So it's a pleasure to be up here, and I want to thank all of you for coming because it's really great to know we have a lot of people here to hear our message. I won't give really too much of a backstory on myself. We got limited time, but just I got into the show at college. I was on YouTube and I found one of the stupid little memes, and I was like, what is this? I was like, this doesn't look like My Little Pony, but that's what everyone says it was, so I'm watching an episode, and I'm like, I like this. I don't know why, but I like this.
Do you have that facial expression?
Yeah, I think so. And the episode ends, I'm like, watch me another one. So,
Second stage of Pony.
what is that?
Second stage of Pony.
Yeah. So it just went from there, and finally found out about the whole Brony community thing and got into it, and it was pretty fun. But one thing, what I'm really here to talk about is what it's been like growing up with two siblings with disabilities. I have a younger sister, Debbie, younger brother Billy. Debbie is 1 year younger than me. I'm 22, and she'll be turning 21 in December. And she has Down syndrome, pretty much just standard Down syndrome. She's had it all her life, obviously. And then Billy is 15, and he has pretty much I would say the classic autism, on the spectrum, the mostly nonverbal. But growing up with them it's been a learning experience my whole life, but only in the past couple of years have I really come to see how amazing it is and what a gift it is to grow up with them, because when I was younger, obviously, you don't have the wherewithal really to look deeper into things and see the full sides of people, you know, because I mean, you're young, you still kind of have some of that self, you know, importance going on. But in the past couple of years, I've really just come to see how much we've connected. I mean, I've helped them with, you know, brushing their teeth at night, reading them stories, helping them get to bed. I mean, taking them places, all that stuff for years and years. And it's, like I said, at the time, I didn't really realize what I was doing, but as I've gotten older now, it's really been a privilege to know that I've helped them so much, and they've helped me. I've learned a lot from them, just about what they can do, and some of their talents that other people can't see, and I probably wouldn't be able to see the talents that such people have if it wasn't for them. And it's been good, it's been funny. Oh Lord, it's been funny. It's been funny. It's been eye-opening. It's been downright terrifying sometimes. It really has. But again, in the past couple of years, the things that I've connected with them and some of the things I see about them is my younger brother Billy. I mean, what I would pay to get into his head. Man, what I would give to know what he thinks. Because I mean, he'll figure things out. You know how, like, on an iPod, if you try to log in 5 times and it's incorrect, it'll lock you out for like 5 minutes. And it increases by like 5 minutes each time. In the span of like an hour, we checked the iPod and it said iPod is disabled. Check back in 4,982,741,000, something like that. And we just sat there and we were like, how did he do this? How did he get it to this place? Which makes me think either he just had that much patience, or he knows some kind of hacking ability and it wouldn't let him in. Another thing, the woman up here commented on my shirt, Iron Maiden. It's a British heavy metal group that I like. And no one else really shares my enthusiasm, but man, I remember I was listening to a song one day, and Billy walks in and just sits on the couch, right, as I'm doing work, and he starts getting into it and just rocking with it, and I'm like, are you kidding me? That's awesome. And he, I'll hear him, like, he'll be back in his room, like, singing a song or something, like Van Halen. He listens to that with me. Like, he's into, like, the 80s rock. I got him into it, and he enjoys it. Yeah. And I just, like, I never, ever would have seen that, you know? I never would have seen him getting into that kind of thing. But again, it's like I said, to get into his head would be amazing. I mean, because he's very self-confident. He, whenever he's had any kind of like a medical situation, he did have to go to the hospital one time, but the entire time, I mean, he was calm as could be. I mean, it was amazing how he didn't really understand, like, I think totally what they were going to do, but he knew why he was there. And that's something a lot of people who are considered, you know, quote unquote normal can't even do. I mean, they go nuts. I mean, a lot of people that I know can't stand hospitals. It scares them to death. But twice he's gone, and both times he's just been very, very calm, and it's like he knows what's going on. So that's really kind of an inner, you know, fortitude, I think, on his part. My younger sister Debbie, again, something that she's taught me, and I honestly sometimes envy her for, is she can let go of her inhibitions and just get out there and have a ball. And I still struggle with that. She's gone to the prom that they have at her school now for a couple of years now, a number of years. And whenever she gets out there, everyone says she's a total ham. Like, she loves it. She gets out there and just dances and has a good time. And it's like, I can't do that. I can't get out there and just let go of that and let go of what I think others will think of me and just, you know, have a good time. It's hard. But she has no trouble with that because she's very self-assured in that regard. And again, that's something else that's a gift that I don't have. another thing we do is she's one of the few people that I still know that, I mean, it doesn't take much and we can just start. It just takes a silly joke, not even that funny to anybody else, but we will just start laughing our heads off and just can't stop. It's so great. It's hilarious. My mom will come in and say, "Will you guys quiet down, please? Like, you're being ridiculous." But it's a lot of fun. It really is. And like I said, it's only in the past, like probably 2 years that I've really begun to see what I've gained from them, living with them, and what I hopefully have given back to them, I hope, anyway. And I'm going to be going back to college, geez, in about 19 days. That's coming up fast. Oh, wow, I don't even want to think about that. I'm looking forward to it, but I'm not prepared yet, anyway. But 19 days, and I'm really hoping through what I'm going for with my degree and whatnot, I'm looking to dual major in secondary education and also something with my faith. But I'm honestly hoping that especially through the faith, the eyes of my faith, I can really help people, because I've tried to help my younger siblings in that regard. And it's something I'm really looking forward to. And again, going back to what Matt has said about the message of this panel and the testimony of everyone that's shown up for it, it's really great to know that it is possible to spread that good message and make a difference. But like he said, you don't have to do it overnight. It takes time, it takes baby steps, but it's possible, and that really gives me hope, and I hope it gives people out there who struggle with disabilities and trying to cope with them, but also maybe have embraced them. I hope it kind of gives all those people a sense of hope to make a difference for themselves and a difference for others. And I just hope that in time I can do that. And again, I gotta thank Matt. He basically put this entire thing together. I was really on the, what am I trying to say, on the sidelines watching, but he really put this entire thing together, put a lot of money, put a lot of time, a lot of effort, and I want to thank him for that, especially, because it's been, I want to thank Ethan for being so true and so honest and just saying what he really thinks about his dad, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is.
He's the best.
I want to thank Rachel for coming out, because she made a heck of a trip, 12 hours, 12-hour bus drive from Michigan, and it means a lot to have her here. And then finally, obviously, Meredith Sims. Doesn't need much of an introduction. Okay. And she'll speak pretty soon after Rachel, but that's what I wanted to wrap up with. And finally, thanks to all of you for coming. It means a lot. I've never really done this, and I'm glad it's going very well, and I'm very glad that you've all come out, so thank you. Rachel.
Hello. My name is Rachel Merrifield, and I came from Michigan, right around Detroit. And you see, sometimes we have trouble figuring out what our purpose is. And I was kind of debating whether or not I would say this, but back in 2012, I was diagnosed with autism, and that kind of hit hard, and I felt like, I didn't have that purpose because, that has a lot of implications and a lot of deep things. But after meeting some inspirational people in my life, I realized what there was and what kind of gaps there were. And sometimes it's hard for people to see those gaps, like what people like Matthew have to encounter every day, and we often forget about those kinds of things. And I learned to see those gaps, and I made some software to at least fill just one of those little small gaps, and to hopefully encourage other people to help fill those little gaps. So this right here is a game that I made called BronyCon, and it is a port of the original Pokemon Red and Blue versions, but it has a slight kick to it.
Your text-to-speech
It's-
software is working.
It works
Press space
with
bar or enter to continue.
It works with text-to-speech software as well as audio design to help people who are visually impaired, like Matthew over here, to be able to play Pokemon, either if they had lost their sight and wanted to play Pokemon again, or if they had never even been able to play Pokemon because of their disability.
Braille font.
I'm going to just
Pokemon
demonstrate the
for
first
the
5
blind
minutes
and
of the game
visually impaired.
to kind of show you what it's like.
Select the credit fix. New game. Hello there. Welcome to the world first.
It's going to skip
L
past this.
right PM HTTPEW. That right. Rachel's house. Upper floor.
So what you might notice is that there's certain noises
Lower
that you
floor.
hear, and these noises are designed so that you can hear where certain objects are, so that you can tell where, like your mom is right here, your mom's right there,
Mother.
and you can tell where the
Upstairs.
door is because it makes a door sound, and you can also tell where this is right
Outside.
here. There's a door sound to tell you that you're outside. So, okay, let me turn it down. There. And these graphics, these are just kind of dummy graphics so that I can kind of see it a little bit better. But this game is designed so that people who can't see can actually play the game. So I'm going to go through the first part of the game. I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with this.
Here, there, when I Professor Oak says
So
this
you
table
can,
is where Professor Oak
what you might
keeps
notice
his last
also is when I
Pokemon.
walk on certain areas,
This
it
table is
reads
where
certain
Professor
things
Oak
to you.
keeps his
For example, this right
last
here is telling you that there are Pokemon on the table, just like the original game, and I can select any Pokemon I want. So
Lizard.
I'm going to
yes.
just choose
You
Charmander.
pick the Pokemon Charmander. Yes. Nickname from COOLC. Mass length. Matt, you says.
And
Matt, you says. What? Rival Matt. You sent out level 5 males. Go.
now some cool things that one thing that I got a lot of is that I got a lot of suggestions on how to make the game better, because since I'm not visually impaired, I don't know exactly what somebody who's visually impaired will need in a game like this. So one of the things that I added was a description, which reads off the description what the Pokemon looks like, so that people who can't see the picture can see what it looks like. And the picture's there because some people who are visually impaired who can't see well enough to see like the original game can see what the characters look like. And it works just like the original game.
Enemy score health. Pool B. Enemy score.
And it reads off various information. For example, I can figure out what the hit points of each character is. And I can also view different things, like I can view this character's stats.
Original trait species is Charmander. 19, 10, 13 stat level.
Things like that.
45 experience points.
And that allows
0% level
huge amounts of information to be available to people who may have been able to play this game by sound but would not have had access to before. So I'm going to close the demo. And one thing that I noticed as I was developing the software was I noticed that in my classes in college that this sort of accessibility is something that has not been really readily advertised and taught to students who are taking classes, and in fact most times it's often just kind of brushed upon in web design classes and that's it. And as software has been progressing and becoming more aesthetically appealing throughout the years, it has become less able to be used for people who are visually impaired, because that functionality that allows it to communicate with various software is being lost because people are not taking into consideration the gaps. So even if you feel like you don't have a purpose, or even if you don't feel like you are somebody who isn't going to provide anything, you may be that person who can see those gaps and make a difference for that person. And I've made a difference to many people. And you know, one of some people ask me, like, how do I keep up with this project? I've been working on it for over a year. And well, the way that I keep up with this project is one time I got an email And I do get emails from some of my fans, but I got an email one time that told me about this woman who got in an accident and she completely lost her vision, and she used to play the Pokemon games almost religiously. She loved them, and she couldn't play them anymore because of her accident, and she was really upset by that, and she just didn't even want to think about it because she couldn't play it. But then she found my game and she was able to play Pokemon once again, and she said in her email that she was so happy that she cried when she found out about it, because that made that much of a difference to her. So I filled that gap in that person's life, and I filled the gap in many other people's life, and I want to continue filling in that gap. And because of that, I found my purpose. And even if we are different in any sort of way, whether we are, this or that or the other, it doesn't matter. We all have the ability to fill the gaps. No matter who we are, we have the capability to make a difference to others. So I'm going to pass it off to Meredith.
Okay. All right. So hi guys. My name is Meredith Sims. Hi. I am one of the writers, voice actors, people in Silly Billy Studios, which made a animation last year. God, it was over a year ago now. That makes me feel very old. It was called Snowdrop, and you saw a little bit of it on the screen before. How many of you have actually seen the whole? Oh my gosh. Okay. Hi.
I told you.
Okay. For Snowdrop, I was the writer. I was the one who thought of the crazy idea that spiraled out of control, and I was the voice actress too. I recorded her lines. Took about a week because every time
I recorded her, my voice cracked a little bit, and then I couldn't do it. I could only do it for about 10 lines.
So I was brought up here to kind of talk about, I was invited to talk about how the idea came about, why we made the animation, what we're going to do with it in the future, and why it's important generally. So really the origin story of Snowdrop, I'm gonna be bluntly honest, I don't even remember exactly how it came into my head. I was in Australia at the time and it was really hot, and the first thing that came into my head was, I miss snow. Snow is fun. I used to live in Indiana, so it was February. It should have been, Indiana, yay! Yeah. I was studying in Brisbane. It was so hot. I was like, I want snow, and I had gotten into the fandom. I was with Silly Billy Studios at the time. We were called something else. We were actually working on a movie project, which got canceled, unfortunately. But it turned us into Silly Billy Studios. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. Sometimes projects fail, but if they can turn into something better, that's how creativity evolves. But we were looking for short ideas, basically, to animate while we were working on the movie in order to practice. So I came up with the first draft in about maybe an hour, and it really just evolved from the I miss snow thought. And it kind of evolved from, I wonder how they make snowflakes, because I remember the episode where they go to the weather factory and they see the snowflakes being made, but they never really touch on that. So I think that's where it came from. And the idea to make Snowdrop blind came mostly from me thinking something as delicate as a snowflake needs to have the most careful work in the world, basically. Well, who better to make something beautiful than somebody who would have a delicate enough touch to make it? So that is how she became blind in the story. At the time, I had never actually known anyone who was visually impaired, honest again. So what I did was I watched a whole bunch of videos to learn kind of how it worked almost, because I didn't even know where to begin, and I didn't want to work with any kind of stereotype. I didn't want to go off of the public stereotype, because I think the public stereotype for disabled people in general and visually impaired people specifically is off. I really think it is. People don't understand how much visually impaired people and disabled people in general can do. They're kind of seen as people who need help, I wanted to show a story where somebody who is seen as needing help is the one that helps. That the people that are considered regular can't do something, but she could. So that's where it came about. I just had to watch a lot of videos to figure out how it was in the real world, how you guys actually think. So I had to be very careful, and the script went through 4 or 5 drafts before I was actually happy with it. It took about a year to animate. It takes a while. Animation takes a very, very long time, and Silly Philly only had 3 animators at the time. So we were working a lot. I think in the last week, our animator Zedrin worked maybe 14 hours a day, nonstop on it. Yeah. Because, well, we were trying to get it released on Christmas. That did not work. Then we were like, well, it's kind of a winter-related cartoon. It wouldn't make sense to release it in July. Let's aim for spring solstice. That sounds smart. And that led to Crunch Week because we didn't realize how close that actually was until we looked it up on the computer. Yeah, it was definitely Crunch Week. Our composers actually made all the music in that Crunch Week because we didn't have all the animation done. So our musicians, our animators, they are the magic makers. I wrote the script. I had plenty of time to do that, but the musicians and the animators are the ones that really made it pop. So we released it. I was hoping for, decent reception. I didn't know how it would do, and I didn't know it would spiral into what it is now. I certainly didn't understand the impact that I've learned that it had from wonderful people like the ones that I'm sitting with. I didn't know until I started to get all these letters and all of these comments, and I didn't realize what we had done. So I was really happy, though, that I was able to do that, because the reason I made Snowdrop, it wasn't specifically for visually impaired people. It was for, again, disabled people. I grew up very church strong home. My stepdad's a pastor. We went to a church where there were disabled people in my youth group. I got to speak with them. I got to be friends with them, disabled people at my school. And all throughout my life, I watched as they were treated differently than me, and I couldn't understand it until I was old enough to realize what was happening. I didn't like it at all. It wasn't right. So I made her for everybody. I didn't just make her for visually impaired people. I made her, and I even made her for people that aren't necessarily disabled, but they don't feel like they're being treated right. Bullies at school. I was bullied. I think everybody was bullied, especially middle school. Middle school sucks, didn't it? Middle school is like the worst thing in the world. I don't know why they make us go through that, but I guess you gotta go somewhere when you're 13, and I guess they just shove you all in one place so that they don't have to look at you for a while.
Well, we are pretty annoying at 13.
Yeah, 13, 14, everybody kind of turns into that sort of, even though, yeah.
And buy your own house.
Some people just don't get out of the 13 days.
I'll just buy my own
You
house.
hope they do. And so she was made, I made her as like a way to support, and I tried to make it as real as I could. The bullies, all real. A lot of times bullies are bullies because they have such low self-esteem. They want to protect themselves from being bullied. So they will be unnecessarily mean in order to put up a barrier. That was kind of what the bullies did in Snowdrop. The teacher, she cared about Snowdrop, but she didn't have enough time to work with Snowdrop, and she didn't have enough time. She didn't give enough attention to Snowdrop that she should have, the right amount of attention and the right kind of attention. Instead, she singled her out, and the reason that I put that in there was because I'd seen it happen before. I think everybody here can relate to a time in their life where they were bullied, where the teacher didn't understand, where the parents didn't understand, or somebody didn't understand. So to put a character out there who could kind of represent that and work through that, that was what I was hoping would become accomplished with Snowdrop. So I'd say she's done pretty well. It was really cool to see her around. I got to go to the vendors hall and I got to see Snowdrop stuff down there, and I was just kind of like, really? Okay. I guess there's like a Snowdrop being auctioned off at the charity auction. I was like, okay. So it's kind of been this out of control, crazy ride with her, and I love her to death. She's my baby. But she's not done yet. And with working with people like these awesome people here, I realized that there is more that I can do. So I know we mentioned it briefly, I think almost before the panel started or right as the panel started, but I'm getting the crew together and we are attempting to figure out how to make an visually impaired, accessible version of Snowdrop to be released for the public. And some kind of audio. We haven't been able to do much work on it yet because of BronyCon. We've been getting ready for our panel tonight, which is, I just can't, so much to do. But after BronyCon, hopefully we will get to work a lot on it. That's like the top thing on my list. Jen, our Celestia, is going to be the narrator. She has a beautiful voice. So she will do a fantastic job with it. We've already been working, we work with people to make like subtitles for different languages and things like that, but I feel like we haven't really worked with you all enough, and the point was to work with you all for her. That was why she was made. So we are getting hard at work on that. Hopefully it will be out very soon. So I just wanted to thank you all for your support. I mean, it's crazy. So thank you very, very much.
And Snowdrop, I think I saw this person in this giant costume of Snowdrop, so.
Did you really? I need to go find them.
Yeah, there's a lot of people walking around these like giant costumes.
Oh
I think
my
they're
gosh.
sweating to death in those things.
I know, right? No, I work at Disney, and one of my friends works at Disney too, and he's friends with Goofy.
How do you do that?
I've heard stories. Yeah. Yeah. So, no, I had to find the Snowdrop, though. I saw somebody in a Snowdrop dress this morning, and I was like, oh my god. Yeah, I was so excited. I'm sorry. But yeah, so hopefully we'll be able to look forward to that soon, and I guess I'll pass it off. That's what I wanted to say.
Thank you all so very much for attending this our panel. This has been a labor of love for me and the rest of my team here ever since the month of December. And like Meredith was stating, they're gonna be working on a new updated version of Snowdrop to help those who cannot see all the wonderful animation that's in there, which includes me, but amongst other people. I mean, even people who are sighted miss out on some of the deep details of a wonderful presentation which Silly Philly Studios was able to put together with that animation. But also, I encourage you all to check out our website, which is on Weebly, which I might be able to do better by, if anyone wants to meet up with me, I can help get the web link to it. But it's the site itself has a link directly to a book that is accessible to anyone who has a screen reader or can convert a file that is Word 97 2003 compliant, which will allow virtually everyone to read over 40 plus stories of people from all over the world who took the time over the last 3 months to submit their tale of how My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, has helped them to overcome, cope, and accept themselves. We have stories that cover every type of thing you can think of, with the most astounding one, I would say, that came at the very last minute, and I apologize because we made sure we let everyone be as anonymous as possible in their submissions. But in this story, this one girl had to be put into a medical coma because of the condition in which she was in. She woke up with tubes in her mouth and everything, and had eventually to have a trach. And out of the kindness of the team who made My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, Andrea Libman herself recorded a special message just for her to help her get through that time period she was going to be stuck in that hospital. So if that doesn't tell you how powerful this community has been to the people with special needs, what else does? So let's just keep it going.
Just don't judge a book by its cover.
That's right.
And be nice to your surroundings.
We thank you all for your time and coming out today. If you have any questions, feel free to pop by and stop any of us, or more importantly, there are links up there. Just look up Coping with Disabilities through Pony, and we should pop right on up.
And we'll be here for a minute, so if you
Thanks
want
a lot.
to, come after us.
Appreciate it.